The truth beneath the silence. The monitors hummed softly beside my son's hospital bed, each beep a reminder how fragile he had become. Tubes ran through his arms, and machines now breathed for him. The surgeon's words still echoed in my mind. Minimal chance of recovery. My wife had stepped out to call our family, her voice cracking through the phone. I stayed behind. I always stayed behind. I picked up my son's jacket from the chair beside me. Something slipped out of the pocket. A sealed envelope with my name written on it. My hands trembled as I opened it, heart pounding. Inside was a note, written in his uneven handwriting, urgent and rushed. Dad, if you're reading this, go to storage unit 142. You'll discover the actual truth about. The sentence ended abruptly, torn off mid-thought. No explanation. Just a haunting message that would keep any father awake for the rest of his life. I folded the note carefully, placed it back in the envelope, and stared at my son's pale face. The surgeon said he might never wake up, but the note told me he already knew something I didn't, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. What truth was he hiding from me? And why did he call it actual? That night, rain slicked the streets as I drove across town. The lights bled yellow into the darkness until I reached the far end of an industrial lot. Unit 142 stood there, cold, silent, sealed with a steel padlock. My son's key, hanging from his chain, fit perfectly. Inside, I found boxes stacked neatly against the walls. At first, nothing unusual, old clothes, trophies, dusty memories. Then I saw them, folders, dozens of them, bank receipts, printed messages, photographs. Each item organized too precisely for a teenager to have done alone. I flipped through the papers, and my heart sank. Names I recognized, my wife's included. Transactions linked to an account I'd never seen before. Then came the photographs. Her with another man. The same man across different dates, different years. Their closeness wasn't subtle. It was undeniable. My son had known. He had documented everything. The betrayal hit me in waves. First disbelief, then a cold realization. Every smile she'd ever given me suddenly looked rehearsed. My son had carried this burden alone until he couldn't anymore. I left the storage unit with the evidence in hand, my face calm, my chest burning. I didn't confront her. Not yet. At home, I watched her. The way she lingered on her phone late at night, her sudden business errands, the hesitation when I asked simple questions. Her lies unraveled through every nervous pause. I matched her schedule to the bank receipts. They aligned perfectly. Each time she claimed to be shopping or visiting a friend, the account showed withdrawals, payments. And the man, he wasn't just anyone. He was a colleague, someone she mentioned casually at dinner, someone she had already brought into our lives without me even noticing. My son hadn't stayed silent out of fear. He had been protecting me, trying to give me the truth I refused to see. Each night, I sat by his hospital bed. The machines breathed for him, but his note breathed for me. Every detail drew me closer to uncovering the life I thought I understood. Outwardly, I remained calm. Inside, my rage grew colder, sharper. Then came the DNA test. A simple envelope delivered on a Friday. My genetic markers beside his. Probability of paternity, 0%. At first, I felt nothing. Then, everything at once. My son, my boy, wasn't biologically mine. She had built an entire life out of lies, letting me raise a child who carried another man's blood. And my son, he had discovered the truth before I did. That's why he left the note. That's why he wanted me to find it. That evening, I placed the files and photographs on the kitchen table. When she came home, she was humming softly. Until she saw them, her face went pale. She whispered my name. I didn't answer. I let silence do the talking. When she reached for the papers, I placed my hand on them. My voice was steady. "You lied," I said quietly. "For years." Her knees buckled. She broke down, begging, pleading, searching for excuses. But her tears meant nothing now. The truth was already carved into the silence between us. I didn't shout. I didn't hit her. I simply handed her the DNA results, then turned the photographs toward her. "Give these to him," I said. The man you've really been with. He deserves to know what his secret has cost. Her eyes widened in terror. She begged me not to, but I had already decided. Her reputation, his career, their perfect illusion. It would all collapse beneath the weight of their truth. Not by my hands, but by theirs. I left her there, sobbing at the table, surrounded by the evidence she could no longer hide. Back at the hospital, I sat beside my son again. The machines kept him alive, but in my heart, he always would be. Blood didn't define love. Time did. Nights spent holding him through sickness did. He wasn't my blood, but he was mine, and his truth had freed me. My wife destroyed our marriage with her deceit. My son destroyed her mask with his note. All I had to do was finish what he started, quietly, completely. As I sat there, the weight of betrayal lifting from me, I whispered to him, not as his father by blood, but as the man who chose him every day of his life. She's finished. I rose, calmer than I had ever been, because sometimes the cruelest revenge isn't rage. It's silence. It's walking away with the truth and letting them choke on the ruins they created.